Leprechaun 2 is the leprechaun looking for a bride, plus he loses the gold coin and needs to get that back. Hey everybody, this is John Franklin Reviewer, and in case you didn't see my review of the first Leprechaun and you're catching me on this sequel, I decided that I wanted to update my version. This was something I actually did about maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, and I was like, you know what, I could do a lot better with it. So this will be the much better version, and last year I did 2 updates. Friday the 13th and Jeepers Creepers. In case you haven't seen any of those, maybe after this is done, go check out those ones there. Okay, so let's get right into the likes. And the first thing I want to talk about would be the first 5-6 minutes of this movie. I really do enjoy this beginning. Just like the first Leprechaun, I did like the beginning in its creepy way, where this is actually the cheesy way. So you got a guy in the woods, has like a chain around his neck, and he's running away from the leprechaun. But no surprise, the leprechaun catches up to him, and they have a nice little laugh. Or should I say the leprechaun has a nice little laugh. Well, the guy's rolling his eyes at the leprechaun's jokes, but it's just funny the way he actually does it. I like their bickering between each other, and of course he's one of these characters, it's like, why the hell did I try to steal your pot of gold and now I've been your slave for like years on top of years on top of years. Let's jump into some characters. I did actually like Warwick Davis once again as the leprechaun. I love the way that he's chewing up the scenery, and this is the biggest reason why I'd ever come back and watch this movie by itself, other than if I'm marathoning these movies. He's having so much fun. We're having so much fun as the audience. I love the makeup on them. They still do a good job. Of course, this movie came out a year right after Leprechaun. Something like I think it was like, what, maybe 15 months difference, where the first one was like January of 93, and I think this was like April of 94. Another character I want to talk about is Morty. He's an older gentleman, he's a con man, but he is so fun and so lovable in this movie, where I'm almost like, yeah, I would have no problem if you conned me. I mean, he was just one of those kind of guys. He loved his acting. And throughout this entire movie, no matter if he's one of these characters that actually make it or not, and I'm sure you can take a guess, even if you haven't seen the movie, if he does or not, I really love following this guy. So I thought he was really good. And the final like is actually going to be the violence, the gore, the deaths. So much better than in the first one. I really love the practical effects of what they do. One of my favorites, and it's a pretty quick scene, the leprechaun in a coffee shop, and that's as far as I'm going to go with it. And what actually happens I thought was really, really cool. And on to the dislikes. Well, let's get the easy stuff out of the way. This is a very boring movie. This is a forgettable movie. This is a bland sequel. I don't like the storyline with the leprechaun looking for a bride. They do talk about the pot of gold, but it's mostly about the bride, and I think that's a really stupid idea. The script needed some rewrites. I thought this was not directed that well. I'm not engaged with most of the characters other than the ones I talked about in the likes. The acting is just, oh my god, it's god-awful. One character I got to talk about is Bridget. And oh my god, if you've seen the movie, you understand it. If you've never seen this movie and was never interested in this franchise, let's just say this. You've been spared, okay? It's just so bad. I mean, I don't know if anybody can actually defend her, and that's fine if you do, as long as we do it respectfully. But oh my god, from when we first see her all the way until the end of the movie, this is the biggest reason why I don't want to watch this movie, because of her acting. Another character is Cody, who's our main character, and his whole motivation is trying to get Bridget back, and I'm just not really that engaged with him. So his acting starts off okay at best, but then it does get worse by the time we get to Act 3. And then the final thing, something with Morty and the leprechaun in a bar, and there's a drinking game going on, and it's got to be the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, they could have done something better with that, if anything at all. And I understand what Morty wanted to do against the Leprechaun. I just didn't really care. Leprechaun 2, I'm going to go a 1/2 star out of 4. I know I despise this sequel here, but is there anybody out there that actually likes this movie? And if you don't, that's fine. You agree with me here too. Give me a comment down below. We can discuss it. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.